Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 28th of March. So before we get on and look at the charts themselves, let's have a look at the risk events coming out for today. Well, it's not a great deal here today of any weighting. We do have the Bank of England governor speaking, and we've already had the Bank of Japan governor, that's done. Bank of England governor speaking, he's testifying about the Silicon Valley Bank before the Treasury Select Committee. So that'll be yes. Anyway, we've got Lagarde speaking later on the opening of the ceremony of the Bank of International Settlements Innovation Hub. So, woohoo! And cutting a ribbon in Northamptonshire. No. Consumer confidence, US at 3 o'clock. It's hardly a major mover anyway. It's why it's highlighted in red, goodness knows. But anyway, there we go. Now we have got a few speakers this morning. 8:35 we've got an ECB speaker. 9:45 we've got Bailey speaking, Ramsden speaking there as well. I assume he's at the same meeting. 2 o'clock we've got Lagarde speaking, well we know that. There's also Nagel and Villeroy there speaking. I assume it's all in the same place. 3 o'clock Fed Bar speaking, so there's a few speakers dotted through the day. Whether they'll actually make any significant impact on the currency pairs is another matter, but I'd be surprised. So let's have a look at the markets themselves and what they're up to this morning. And starting off with the euro dollar is all I can say. It's not a lot here. It was certainly sitting in a bear flag yesterday, but it's just continued to push upwards, drifting up. Eventually it did hardly anything through the main sessions areas. What was it, 2 o'clock before it actually kicked above the morning high, and eventually through the US session, Asian session, it's pushed up there. The way it's sitting at the moment, well, it looks like it could just push on upwards, but the R2 is not that far away. It does have an untouched daily pivot, which has a reasonable probability, but the way it's shaping up at the moment, it just looks like it's going to continue in this journey. Not an easy one to get into a position on though. Looking at the pound, well, the pound's just continued its route upwards, having drifted below its trend line here. It's just, as I say, just continuing upwards, and there's not a lot I can do with this at this time of the morning. I was looking for a sort of trade. There's potential resistance into its R2 just above here with these prior highs. A breakout of that would be quite bullish. This is the near-term highs, but then there's a whole clump of highs beyond that. It will be interesting to see if we can get through that resistance at 124.23 sort of area. We'll see what happens there. Morning, Michael. Okay. So that's where we are on the pound. Nothing in terms of ways of potential entries for me at this stage. Dollar yen, dollar yen is coming back off again now. Just go back up that time frame. Yep, it's just catching a little bounce in the short term, today, it probably, having seen what it's done here, it's probably one of the weaker markets. I don't know, so actually it closed positive. The dollar must be the weakest this morning. Dollar yen, well, it's already gone through its daily pivot S1. It's written a lot of opportunities for me off at this stage, and again we'll see how it develops through the morning. My preference is on the short side on it. The sentiment's bullish on the big money sentiment's bullish on the dollar yen, but the technicals aren't at the moment. Aussie dollar, now this is one that's completely opposite. The technicals are quite bearish, but if the US dollar's being sold, even the baby gets caught up in it. And we're seeing that quite a horrible choppy market when you're looking across on the 4 hours here. It's not a clear trend in it as such. You see what's happened yesterday. Absolutely. Anyway, moving on. And this is what it seems like a case of this morning of moving on. There's little I can see overall. We've got a pivot swing on the Canadian dollar there. Maybe that's going to break down some more, but look at the shape of this. Okay, 4-hourly picture. Perhaps we will drift. We've struggled with this area over the last 2 weeks here. Maybe it will drift through it at the moment. It could yet be just a tester here. This white line that's on here was a key pivotal area. I was looking for it to break down. I'll come back to the dailies actually on this. I was looking at the price action. You can't even see it on here now. It's washed it away almost. But it had. Is this a daily picture? It is a daily picture. It had, anyway, put a bit of a Gartley pattern in there. Look at it, but anyway, it was looking soft, but then it went off, and the dollar rallied against the CAD there, and it's since given it all back again. As I said, where it seems such a key level around here, I prefer to see it broken, test the bottom, and then get a ride on the way down. New Zealand dollar not doing too much here either. It's really horrible market at the moment, so we'll leave that alone. Euro yen, some possibilities this morning. We could see a continuation in this. The yen's just softened off at the moment. Let's just go through here. We could be seeing, hasn't hit its S1 yet, so there is. We'll see how it develops this morning, but could be a little bit more bullish on this now, but very unclear, a lot of these markets. Consolidation Euro Aussie around the highs here. We've had 4 days up there now, not moving too far. Look at the last week, it just really, and even early, well, yesterday just ran up back into last week's highs. It's rolled back at this stage. And quite rangy, already hit the pivot S1. Maybe we'll see a breakdown here, the way it's failing at the highs there. Maybe we'll see a bigger breakdown, and it'll take out these lows. But looking through then, Euro CAD, this is always a bit of a go-to, but not so much now. I was waiting to see yesterday if we got the break of the break above this level I'd drawn on here for a long, but it just petered out and it's just drifting its way southbound. The more it does this, well, it's just correct. It's confirming lower highs on this time frame. You can see the lower highs. Structure's really changing a bit now, which makes it less interesting. That will be just when I get a little bit less interested. It will probably make a decent reversal and continue this original trend, but drifting at the moment, which is pretty much a summary of most of the other markets here. I don't really have too much. I've been through them this morning. I mean, the pound yen, for those people who like the pound yen, 4 hourly is in quite a significant chop. It too could see, I mean, it doesn't look quite so messy on the hourly, it's a little bit clearer. It too could continue up. It hasn't hit any S1s or R1s yet. The near-term trend is looking like it could push up here, so there's a potential there on the pound yen. Right, I'm going to leave it there for now. Because you can see the actually Aussie New Zealand is often a go-to market. Let's just check that. Well, no, that's gone. Gone nowhere. Look, it's become this is a daily chart here, and it's become a complete mess of consolidation. Having said that, I did manage to get trade out of it last week, but it doesn't look like it for me at the moment this week. I was looking for a breakdown yesterday of this level for a continuation, but it's since put higher lows in it, so that's the way the market crumbles at times. So let's have a look through at gold. Morning in and Ritu. Gold then this morning, well, it's coming off a little bit. Yesterday it came off. It just the double tops holding up there. Yesterday just continued selling, and it's looking a bit on the softer side at the moment. It has got lower highs just about through this. Is it going to switch back again? It's hit neither the R1 or the S1 yet, so there's potential one of them would go. The way it's shaping up at the moment, perhaps the S1 would find support in those prior lows. Possibility there. Crude got the acceleration yesterday. In the end, it's pushed up there in the well, really more so the afternoon there, sort of 1 o'clock. Off it went. It hit its R1, pulled back a little bit. R2 came into play, and well, there it is. Off it's going. So nothing to do with crude. That's Western Texas. Brent's pretty much similar case here, looking like a little bit more bullish, but looking at both of these, and you've got some possible resistance back into these prior lows at some stage, not too far away. Equity markets this morning, very quick look at the Asian markets then. So the CSI 300 off again today, still very bearish looking market, very unsettled. The Nikkei trying its best to do something a little bit more positive here, but to me that's just a bit of a bear flag in the bigger picture of things. It could get a reversal. The North American markets futures are up at this stage. Nifty 50 continues to be southbound here. Let's look at those North American markets. Yesterday, well, this is daily chart. You just see the consolidation. The markets are so uncertain in where to go, and intraday has just come down to the hourly. Look at that chop. So very, very choppy old morning float. Very choppy old morning here, and flatlining effectively at the moment. It's pretty sums the markets up really. The Dow, not a great deal of difference. Nasdaq's been pushing ahead better previously, but again double topping here over the last few days, and it's struggling up there to break into a new high. Moving back to Europe and DAX on the dailies really is choppy. You see it on this short-term time frame. It's real indecision in markets. 1 minute they're going one way, and next they're moving the other, and the trends are very light. I mean, this does look to me like the DAX, it could be pushing up. If it hits that R1, well, R2 runs into the prior high or near-term highs here, so resistance around that sort of area. But it does look a little bit more positive, but not a lot to be had there. The FTSE's a bit of a mess as well. It's trying to do something here. It's in a wave to the upside by looks of things, but it's a way to go before it puts a higher low in. Certainly broken away from the structural lower highs, lower lows. It's sort of floating about at the moment. However, of course, it could just roll back on us. Again, it's just, most of these markets at the moment are in that sort of period of uncertainty, a chop. Very difficult to work out exactly where they go, or I say exactly, or even where they might go. So we have to be patient, wait out our turn. Cash is a good position on days like this, and that's what I'm going to be sitting by looks of it this morning, unless something pops up. Now we've hit 8 o'clock. Right, on that sweet note, I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Take care. Bye for now. So I'm not